Effective Listening Skills by Breaking Barriers Training. In this short video course, we will talk about the introduction to listening skills, what are listening skills, some of the techniques to improve our listening skills, and tips to make our listening skills more effective in our day-to-day conversations, in our conversations with our clients or customers. So let us go ahead and understand listening skills better. Effective listening is actively absorbing the information given to you by a speaker, showing that you are listening and interested and providing feedback to the speaker so that he or she knows the message was received. That, my dear friends, is effective listening. Now, in this program, we will cover reflecting and mirroring, a technique, probing and understanding, deflecting and getting distracted, which can be barriers to effective listening, and also advising and preaching. So the first two are techniques of improving listening skills. The other two are the barriers of effective listening skills. Let us go ahead and understand what reflecting and mirroring is about. Reflecting is paraphrasing back to the speaker what they said. We don't want to just parrot back what was said, we want to paraphrase. For example, if I have heard you correctly, what you said is this, and this, or what you want us to do is this and this. We can also say, correct me if I'm wrong. What I understand from what you said is this, and this. Okay? Help me understand it better. I have got this much information from you. What else did you say? So please paraphrase when people talk to you. For instance, a listener can summarize what he or she has heard and also take the conversation a step further by asking a question for clarification or elaboration. For example, what I've heard from you is we have to do this, and this. Can you also tell me what are the next steps from these steps, okay? Can you also tell me more about step number 2? So we're talking about clarification or elaboration or even next steps. This gives a trust and this gives clarity to the speaker that you have understood them clearly and you have actually been listening to the other person. Another technique is mirroring, my dear friends. Mirroring is about just trying to copy their behavior a little bit. For example, mirror their pace and tone. If they are speaking fast, try to match their pace and try to show that urgency in your tone. If they sound concerned, show concern. If they're slow and they are, let's say you're talking to an old person who is hard of hearing, then you try to compensate that. You try to slow down. If they're not able to understand you better, just try to mirror them and empathize with them. This is called reflecting and mirroring technique. Let's move on to probing and understanding. Probing means asking for additional information. Well, not all questions you might ask will be effective. Some questions may be ineffective, but asking questions is a must. Effective probing is non-judgmental and flows from what was previously said. So it's like a chain of questions which have a logical sequence to it. So you start with one question. So how can I be of help? How can I help you? And the person says, okay, I need you to do this, and this. And then you ask another question. Why exactly do you want me to do this? And then, okay, where exactly are you right now? Or how do you want to move forward from there? So basically one question linked to another question, just like funneling you ask one and the other question, and you're driving the other person through questioning and trying to understand their need really well. The third point is good probing questions ask for elaboration, clarification, and repetition. If, for instance, an important question you asked wasn't answered. So you ask a question, it was not answered, then you may repeat that question. So say that, I'm sorry, I didn't get the answer for this question. Could you please help me with the answer? Could you please tell me what is your age or whatever the question is? So these are 3 steps to improve probing for understanding and understanding of the needs of the customer or the other person. The next is deflecting and distractions. Well, a lot of us today are distracted. Okay, and our mind would be somewhere else. Somebody might be talking to us. This could be a big problem when it comes to listening. Deflecting responses shift the discussion to another topic. So let's say somebody is talking about some issue that they have, and we start talking about something else that's on our mind, or we just ignore them and start talking about something else. We see this a lot in social gatherings when somebody is trying to top us up by saying, oh, no, that's nothing, something more terrible happened with me. We call them the toppers, and they keep topping up the discussion, showing that they are more important. What happened to them was bigger and worse than what happened to the other person. Don't be a topper. When we deflect from what we have been told, rather than acknowledging it, we can unintentionally communicate that we haven't listened and that we aren't interested. These 2 things will completely destroy trust, and people will get irritated and they might just stop talking to you. So distractions are also about losing focus of what is being said and asking the other person to repeat. Sometimes we ask the other person to repeat because when they were saying something, we were just not there. So both deflecting and being distracted are signs of ineffective listening. Next, let's move on to advising and preaching. As a human being, as a grown-up adult, I don't want to be advised. I don't want to be preached. In fact, I never liked it right from my childhood days. And whenever somebody starts giving me advice which I never asked for, or when somebody starts teaching me or lecturing me, I don't like it. And so does others. Advising is telling someone what to do. It is good when they ask for it. So till the time I don't ask for your advice, please don't give me an advice. And terribly wrong when they are only sharing their concern and just want to be heard. Sometimes people just want to speak it out to somebody who is ready to listen to them, without judgment, without advice, without preaching them what's right and wrong. Preaching is similar, and we do it when we believe the other person is ignorant or wrong. We get in the role of their parents or teachers and start giving lectures on morality, life, how they need to take care of their investments, finances, relationships, whatever it may be. So my dear friends, advising and teaching, both of these can be barriers of effective listening and problem solving. So if you're talking to a customer, if you're talking to a manager, if you're talking to a colleague, or even a team member, never get into advising and preaching mode. Because this kind of says, follow me, I'm smarter than you, I know more than you. And it's kind of a derogatory and disrespectful attitude towards the other person. So let's look at some important tips. Ask questions to understand the need before suggesting anything. Okay, and remember, not an advice, but a suggestion. So don't say, you should do this. Instead of saying you should do this, or this is the right thing to do, you say, I suggest you do this. Listen without judging or jumping to conclusions. Okay, sometimes we even interrupt people before they finish. You're like, yeah, I know what you're saying. I exactly know what you're saying. Don't do that. Don't jump to conclusions. Hear them out. Don't judge. Do not impose your opinions or solutions. Okay? I think this is the best thing to do and you should do this. Don't do that. Don't impose your opinions or solutions. Stay focused and do not get distracted. Never interrupt. Wait for the other person to finish. Be sensitive to the tone. If they are in a hurry, you hurry. If they sound concerned, you mirror their concern, as we have discussed earlier. Well, this brings us to the end of the Effective Listening Skills course. Thank you so much for your time today.